welcome to episode 2 of One at a Time, lads. I'm your host, Zach, and this week I'm here with Jesse.
Hello.
Jesse, you are a longtime Brewers player.
Yep.
And so you're playing in this episode, right?
Yes, sir.
Alright, and I'm playing my Blacksmiths. So here we are set up, and we've got our game plan cards. I have Go for the Knees, Keep Your Chin Up, Midfield General, Get Back in There, and Back in the Game.
And I had Lone Striker, Sell It to the Crowd, Fullback, Won't Touch the Hair, and Hunker Down.
I think it's funny because both of us are pretty notorious for always getting all of the low cards.
Yeah.
I think you won out on numbers this time, for sure. So, Jesse wins the kick-receive roll, and you chose to kick.
Yeah, I chose to kick. I had been trying a little bit with Vet Spigot and Esters as kickoff pressure, thinking that was a good way to... one of the few ways that Brewers could get the kicking goal. And I knew Blacksmiths liked kicking as well, so...
Yeah, Brewers just as a team, just being so slow, really like having the ball, just extending their threat range so much. I don't know if that was... would you do that again?
Probably, but I'd do it differently. As you'll see, this is before I learned about the O-Spigot and V-Decimate sort of recruiting people into the Brewers team. So that's what I've been doing when I've been kicking now, and that seems to work.
Alright, so my team that I ended up drafting was Anvil Captain with Sledge, Furnace, Veteran Cinder, Hearth, and Alloy, which I feel like is kind of my bog standard Blacksmiths team. I'll sometimes leave Hearth out for Ferris, or not really Hearth, but I'll pull Ferris in if I want to go more football-y, usually instead of Anvil. Sometimes I'll drop Alloy for Iron if I want more ball-killing ability. But it usually works out pretty well.
And I went with Esters and Quaff, and then V-Spigot for the ball control, kickoff pressure, scoring. Hooper and Decimate are pretty standards for me, and I tried Stave as a potential tech piece against Blacksmiths, and they like bunching up with Sentinel and just keeping people spread out a little bit more, knocking them down.
Yeah, you deployed him all the way out there.
Yeah, no, it wasn't a good deployment. And as you'll see, he did not do anything the entire game.
Yeah, because that was something I was definitely going to... Or I definitely felt like I was probably just going to accept that I wasn't going to get my Sentinel auras very much and just kind of have to play around that. Or just go after and just try to bully Stave early on. But he ended up not really playing as big an impact.
Yeah, he didn't do much. I want Stave to be useful. I like him. I think it's a great model, but he's just... I don't think he can play on a Tapper team with him being one influence and Tapper only bringing 3. And with Esters, he just needs to be in the right position, or it's just so much harder to make him do something.
Yeah, in an Esters team, just with the free heroics, he's still... It's only a one influence battery, sure, but he is just kind of a battery.
True.
What is it with Steamforge making great-looking models with useless rules?
Yeah.
You've got Stave, you've got Locust, you've got Kraken in Season 3. Come on.
Yeah. I don't know. He and bringing it down from 4 inches to 2 inches made it a lot with the push. Yeah, it was just... I don't know how much it's worth it anymore. He's gaining 1 armor and battering ram just is not enough to justify him, I don't think.
Is he staying in your 12?
I don't know. We'll see.
Because who's not in your 12 right now?
Stoker and Either Lucky or Hemlock, Fangtooth.
Okay, I think you need to drop, because you've got 13 models before Union, right?
13 and
Or
Lucky.
14 before Union, yeah.
Yeah, so I gotta drop 2. It's been Lucky and Stoker.
Okay.
And then I haven't been bringing any Union, so.
Yeah, that makes sense.
And
Lucky seems pretty good for Brewers, just having the option to dodge.
Yeah, he was a staple in Season 3, but I don't know, I think I like the other Brewers, what they do too.
Yeah.
I tried for a kick to the edge to kind of put the ball out of play and make it just really difficult for Zach to get it, and while keeping Spigot in cover and near Esters for his heroic. So
yeah, Furnace with his just randomly having an 8-inch kick comes in handy so often.
Yeah.
He's average move with the 5.7. He doesn't have any dodges, but that 8-inch kick really comes in handy. Yeah, so the one bad thing about using Furnace to retrieve the ball is it puts my tooled up model just out of position for the first turn or two, which is really nice to have either Sledge or Cinder tooled up on turn 1 just to go and really give some punishment out.
Yeah, I tried to keep back enough that they couldn't threaten me, or you're only threatening Spigot. You didn't do too much turn 1, but that was...
Yeah. Well, we'll see why. A very similar thing actually happened in another game I was playing the other day against Randall's Masons, where my threat extension didn't quite work. But man, when it works, it's like that extra 4 inches is really good.
Yeah, having the ball lets you put those guys wherever they need to be and into whoever you want them to. Anybody who moves forward.
Not even moves forward. I mean, if they make the pass, they can hit the kicker from anywhere reasonable, usually. Look at you being all camera friendly and spreading out your influence.
For one turn.
Yeah. Yeah, so as we were talking about that 8-inch kick, just going out and then leaving him in cover. I mean, the Blacksmiths with the high armor and going into cover, it just makes them so resilient to most models.
And I'm just checking threat ranges and kind of seeing what I need to do to get Spigot into his goal threat to potentially take the ball and score. But
yeah, until I come off the line, you really need the quick foot.
Yeah, and so that's why I usually start with Esters as one of my first moves is to throw tooled up on somebody and put quick foot on Spigot.
Yeah, that free kick from his heroic really helps just with the influence efficiency for that first turn.
Yeah, it makes him go up to was it a 9-12, I think it is, with his heroic and quick foot, which is pretty good.
At that point, you're not staying out of the threat range. You're just hoping to mitigate it with crowd outs and good positioning. Or just accepting the goal.
Right, which is what kind of scared me off, as you'll see.
Yeah, this team I'm throwing at you has a lot of 2-inch melee. Yeah, so Anvil, I don't have the influence to really spread out to all of my apprentices to do what I'm hoping for them to do and still make a bunch of kicks, so he just drops it off and then brings everyone up while the iron is hot. Oh, nope, he doesn't while the iron is hot. He didn't get any influence this turn.
Yeah, and this is where I potentially had a chance to go and take the ball off of Cinder, but her being a 4-2, if I charge her, then she's going to defensive stance or counterattack, and I've really then got to hit the tackle double push to get her out of there, and I'm crowded out, and
Yeah,
gonna
at
be
least
shooting
once.
at lower dice from crowd outs anyway. So I opted to back off of it. Hope for a better target. So
And the Blacksmith Master prep train finishes with instructing Sledge. So really setting him up for big things this turn. Yeah, the first half of any blacksmith's first turn especially was really pretty static. I miss when it was called Bag of Quaffers.
I still call it quaffers.
Yeah.
Yeah, so Quaff is just trying to make Spigot a little bit, give him a better chance to try and take that ball.
Yeah. We did roll back and put second wind on Decimate. Why'd you put second wind on Decimate and not on Spigot so that he could kind of get back to safety after doing his thing?
I was thinking I had the influence on Decimate as well, that if anybody came into her threat range, that she could go do some damage and then get back to safety.
Just play the old Season 3 game.
Yeah, kind of. But losing the inch on her movement and the tack really makes it so that she's unassisted. She's really only good at pushing people around and doing non-momentous damage.
Yeah, and her knockdown being replaced with a stagger.
Yeah,
on
she
three.
can't even hit that.
Yeah. So Alloy, this turn I decided not to go for the turn 1 goal and just use him to throw out some dirty knives to make my murder train hit a little easier. In this game, I actually remember Back to the Shadows. I can't tell you how many times I forget about Back to the Shadows, especially when all he does is dirty knives. I'll look at it like 2 activations later and just go, oh, right, Back to the Shadows. Yeah, he could have gotten out of there. But yeah, he's a sneaky little ninja man.
Yeah, and that was one of those times where I forgot about Back to the Shadows and was kind of hoping that
that I left him there
that she'd
right
be
for Decimate to
she'd
hit.
be able to go in there and push him back a little bit and get her and Hooper and if I back off a Spigot, get him in there too, get 3 people on her, get some momentum.
God, Veteran Cinder is just such a versatile model.
Yeah, she's really good.
So this is just a little bit of paralysis, I guess, of
Yeah.
not wanting to come up into my threat range.
Yeah, it's again trying to figure out if I should go with Spigot or if I should go with just sacrifice Hooper or Decimate for being useless.
Yeah,
this
sacrifice
turn.
their activation.
Yeah, basically sacrifice their activation and potentially give you extra targets to go after.
Yeah. Hooper's not the most appealing target. He's not the least either. He's 18 boxes, 3-1 tough hide?
Sounds about right. Yeah, somewhere in there. 3-1 tough hide is.
Yeah. God, just the amount of buffs that Brewers have to throw out. Look at all those tokens on Spigot.
Yeah, and I threw Tough Skin on him to, again, he was the closest, most appealing target to make it a little tougher for either Sledge or Cinder to go into.
Yeah. So right here, I'm looking at this little pocket that I've got between Spigot, Hooper, and Esther's, and just salivating for the sweeping charge there. But as you'll see here, sometimes tap-in's not enough, and you still miss a 3-die kick needing 3s. And I think, yeah, the ball...
Yeah, that really messed him up.
Yeah, the ball would have scattered back behind my line, so it was either do that, no momentum. I'd have to sacrifice either her or Sledge's activation or run and get it, or just grab it on Hearth, have it dead for the turn, but at least kind of maintain positional control of it, which just feels really bad. I did the same thing in a game the other day. I think it was Sledge that missed that pass, but no one could even intercept it. It was a 6-6, so Hearth had to sprint back and get it. Hearth did nothing for me that game because she was just so far behind.
Yeah, it kills the ball, but it also makes it so that I can't get the ball. I really can't get it off of her with so many people in the way.
Yeah,
And
I mean, not to mention
and you
just
still control it and have the goal run open for next turn. So yeah, Cinder doesn't get to do her crazy charge, but you're still in control with the ball and everything.
she does at least still have flaming harpoons to throw.
Not needed. It's not needed.
I feel like the impale gets to you more than most other stuff that the blacksmiths have. Which, I mean, yeah, it is crazy that she has this 6-inch range play. She can trigger off the playbook, and it lights people on fire.
Yeah, I think that's the main thing. Is it's like she's kind of good at everything. If she can't get to you, she'll throw a spear at you. If she can get to you, she's going to deal damage to everybody in the area. And she just does a ton of damage. Just the amount that blacksmith apprentices can put out is insane.
Yeah. Plus, I mean, with a 6-8 move, a 3-6 kick, and access to dodges on her playbook, she's no slouch at kicking either.
Yeah. Yeah, so we just removed the Tough Skin and Searing Strike because they cancel out, so... And this is where I just try to make something useful out of his influence, and don't think I do much with it.
You get some momentum off it. So why the charge and not just walk up and smack me?
Better access to try and get a push dodge, I think is what I was trying to move you a little bit closer.
Okay. Because at that point, he's normally TAC 5
He's
with
TAC
the
5.
Quaffers or whatever it's called now.
Yeah, so he was TAC 6.
TAC 6. I don't know if I'm in cover. I'm at a Sentinel. And you're bringing up Guild Ball Manager right now to look at the playbook. Because we're prepared, guys. We totally had that open ahead of time.
And it's just freezing, so we'll see.
Does that happen to you where you open it, it freezes, you close it, you reopen it, and then it works? It
just
always works the second time.
Yeah, I think I was looking for the either the knockdown or the push dodge on the charge, or even the tackle double push where I can move you in a decent amount, because otherwise it's just not, there's not much he can do to get momentum or move you in a position to let Decimate do something.
Yeah, because I guess you do get the wrap on this. So you get that double push, which realistically just walking up and attacking me twice would have just been 2 1-inch pushes.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it would have been probably better to just walk up and hit you twice. Would have gotten me an extra momentum. And
yeah, I mean, with his book, I didn't defensive or counter or anything. I didn't really have a whole lot of incentive to do either of those things.
Yeah, because he was putting himself in position for Sledge to go in anyways.
Yeah. He kind of does the thing that Decimate is famous for, just the surfing back to the team.
Yeah, and I just ended up knocking you down since Decimate was now in range.
Yeah, I don't really need to move me any further. Yeah, I was worried about the push dodge there, because I think, looking at that, you might have still been in range after the dodge, but I was...
Oh, I could have moved myself out.
I don't know about that. Just looking at where that stick went down, hard to say. This thing about watching it back later, it's... Yeah. You make all these estimations based on a camera that's looking at a slanted angle from a few feet above and just trying to mentally scale things.
Well, by that, it looks like you would have had to at least sprinted or charged at me.
I did have to charge you there.
Oh, you did charge me.
Yeah,
anyway, so I might have been able to get out of the...
It might have been, yeah.
Out of threat.
I think so. Yeah, I'm able to charge, stay in cover. Still out of Sentinel, though. And you did take away my gang up, but he's got Pile Driver and Instruction on him.
Yeah, it's pretty gross.
Yeah, the best thing about playing Blacksmiths is just saying big numbers. I don't get to do that with my engineers. We say very small numbers. My navigators now, we get to say a lot of numbers with navigators because they're rapping all the time, but they're really small. God, just putting those dice back in for the buffs.
Yeah, that would have been, what, 2 hits, 1 hit?
Just a couple, yeah. Yeah, so
Too
he hits the top of the book. Yeah, and that powerful charge, he so rarely charges, but when he does, getting that free knockdown.
Yeah, and I mean, that one attack took over half of Spigot's health in one hit. And
Yeah, so at this point, the kill is accessible here if I roll really well. So originally, I think to bonus time, then figure, well, I'll be getting momentum back, so maybe better to just stand up Cinder instead. Helps keep her a little bit safer against Decimate, gets me the extra die, so it's the same effect, and I'll still theoretically have some momentum. Yeah, it was a little bit of a pipe dream to kill him there. And
yeah, I think it leaves him on like one.
it leaves him on
Yeah, that should have.
a couple.
Oh, he must.
Yeah,
have,
he took 12 damage.
plus
'Cause
the spear. He
You
healed
off the
himself,
damage
that's
from
right,
the
I healed
spear
myself.
and the dirty knives,
That's right. Yeah.
but you still had the conditions on him.
Yeah. So now just trying to get something out of Decimate, a little bit more momentum.
Yeah, because I think it's only one attack, because she doesn't have really the lane. If she acrobatics first, could she have charged? Versus sprinting around, acrobatics in.
She might have been able to. Yeah.
Yeah, with Hooper there, he's messing with the charge lane a little bit.
And I just take the momentum here and move him in closer to the team and go for the momentum, because I think at that point that put me 2-1 on momentum, so I was up and hoping to take the first activation.
Yeah, because at that point it was really a choice of either be leading on momentum or take the conditions or heal off Spigot or heal him, save his life, because without that he dies to conditions.
Yeah. And taking the conditions off is really just saving him from one activation, basically. So
Yeah, and so I mean he would be, unless he went first, he's still probably dying, and he's not really a great model to lead off your turn. So I think, yeah, letting him die is definitely the right choice.
Yeah,
he can come back, be useful.
he could lead off the turn if he had a goal run potentially, but
Yeah,
with Sledge in the way, Sledge, Iron, Alloy, or not Iron, but Anvil and Alloy all in the way, it's not going to happen.
that'd be mighty impressive. If he had more dodges on his playbook, maybe. And so, yeah, I lose the initiative race. I go for the... I don't even see what you held up there. I play Keep Your Chin Up for the free heal. Oh, yeah, and you played the free Run the Length just because that was the number you needed.
Yeah, that was the number that I needed to go first.
Yeah, so -1 influence and pretty much a blank text effect. I mean, that one... I'm always disappointed when I see that one in my hand.
Yeah, me too. I don't like that both of the 6s are -1 influence. And actually, using the showboating, it cost me a potential snapshot in one game because I was like, oh, I have it. Let's move the person, and that moved him out of kick range, so...
Yeah, just one of those things you wouldn't have even thought about until it just emerged later. Engineers have trained me just to always be thinking about snapshots.
That's something I don't necessarily think about all that often, because with everybody with 2 or 3 dice, except for Spigot and Friday if she's heroic,
it's just
makes them
unreliable.
a lot dicier. And I'm throwing 6 on Esther's there, so the plan is for her to go in and probably tool up Hooper or Decimate, and then take out Cinder, or maybe I tooled up herself and took out Cinder, because if she tools herself up, she's pretty consistently knocked down in 12 damage, which I think Decimate was, or Cinder was sitting around that.
Yeah, she only has 13 health, or it might be 12. But
yeah, so I did at least 1 damage to her from Spigot.
Yeah, when you wrapped there. The This was actually my first time playing against Esters in season 4. Just somehow all the other times we've played this season, you've either been playing your rats or your morticians. And I was a little bit surprised at how much damage she could just throw out herself. Yeah, Cinder only has 12 health.
Yeah, with a crowd out, she is reliably can tool herself up, knock you down, and then do 12 damage.
Which against Blacksmiths, that's all you need.
Yeah, having the two up to 3 on 2 hits with at least tack 6 is, even tack 5 is pretty reliable.
Yeah, if I'm knocked down. And there's the knockdown.
Yep, there's the knockdown, and now she can pretty reliably go in and get the 12 damage or 11 damage that she needs to take Cinder out.
Yeah. We're here listening to the raw audio of this recorded, and just in the background there's some political, not quite arguments because everyone kind of agrees, but discussion going on, and it was unfortunately common at our shop. Yeah, and Esther's is just putting out the consistent pain here.
Yeah, and I bonus timed one to get the 3 up to 4, and so it was a lot easier to. I could miss that 2 hits at least once and still get it.
Yeah, just keep out of the danger zone. Yep, and there she is sitting on 1 health, and the dice don't flub.
Nope. So get the takeout, but it's so that brings it to 2-2.
Yeah, but now we're in a bit of a standoff situation, which I think Blacksmiths are definitely advantaged in, just with their access to ranged plays. Decimate certainly helps out of being able to bring someone back to your team if she can hit those results.
Yeah. The issue this would have been a good spot for Stave to be able to come in and push him down, knock him away a little bit or something, but he was out of position, and so, with Decimate and Hooper, it looks like they each have 2 on him. They're not going to be able to take him out, even whether he's in Sentinel or not. So
yeah, and being able to get him in Sentinel here just helps him a lot. Sentinel cover, he's tooled up, he's got 1 at a time, lads. He's now feeling okay walking up into just about anything he needs to later. Yeah. And taking whatever you punch at him now. I think if Decimate had 4 or Hooper had his full 3, I certainly would have been a lot more scared. But with the -1 influence you had, and you put 1 on Spigot just to help him get back in the game a little faster.
Yeah.
The kind of usable influence for your team wasn't too available.
Yeah, and didn't want to pile it on somebody because I know Decimate is a little bit more efficient against Blacksmiths, but without some crowd outs or tooled up, she really doesn't do a whole lot besides pushing people around until you're knocked down or staggered, and that's when she can really do a decent amount. And
yeah, that knockdown stagger at the top of her book, still really good if you can hit it.
Yeah, that's the thing.
Just -2 defense.
So I think here I decided that Alloy was a better target to try and go after, with Hooper and Decimate on that side. Try and bring him in a little bit, deal some damage, better than going against a 4-2 and cover.
Yeah, definitely the squishier target. No Sentinel, no cover, only 1-inch melee, so there's nothing I can do about it. 1 less health also. He's...
Yeah, so I think I hit the stagger there, and then probably, unless I hit the 3 damage, I think I just push you back a little bit.
Yeah, it's a 3 damage push.
Yeah. Yep.
But he's still standing, so I'm not really that scared of Hooper at this point.
Yeah, he needs you knocked down, otherwise losing 5 to 7 damage on a hit is rough.
Yeah, like I'm defense 3. You've got a gang up. I'm on 9 health, but Hooper with only 2 influence. I feel pretty confident that I can survive, which might have been overconfident. I mean, just looking at his playbook with rolling 8 dice, you're not that unlikely to wrap against a 3-1. And if you wrap on one of those hits, and then you'd have to hit the top of your book on the other one. So Anvil to the rescue. He's big, he's reliable, he's got a cool shield that always knocks everything over and is really impractical. It's great.
Yeah, I've learned in other games too just how frustrating Anvil can be with his knockdown on 1 and just always being in the way, basically.
Yeah, I mean, the 2 results he really wants are on 1 and 2, the knockdown and the singled out. So yeah, there's no counter declared. So I if they don't declare the counter, I like to take the singled out first and just hope for the wrap with tack 8 with a 5 long book. It doesn't usually happen, but again, I'm still looking for the knockdown on 1 for that second attack anyway, which I take here.
Yeah, if you don't counterattack, it leaves you don't have to worry about knocking them down that first hit.
Yeah.
I think here I'm trying to decide if I need to go with Hooper to try and do something, or if I should wait in Quaffers. That's Quaff is good, but you need to. It's just like tooling up or anything else. You need to have that space to that extra activation where you can buff them.
Yeah, I think Quaff might have been the move, though.
Yeah, and I went for the charge here because I figured I needed the speed, I think, and get the extra dice, hope for the best.
Yeah, without your gang up, with Alloy and Sentinel now, though, I'm feeling pretty safe. I think I'd do defensive stance back up to the 4-2.
Yeah, you defensive stanced. And it was a pretty dismal roll, but I was able to get enough, I think, probably for the knockdown.
Yeah. With the 2 armor, it's a pretty average roll, I guess. It always looks worse once you take out the armor, and it always looks worse being on the rolling side of that.
Yeah.
And it never feels good to look at that and just thinking, okay, yeah, that was what I should have expected to get. Because it never feels like enough.
Yeah, that's true.
Especially for Brewers, where all your good stuff's on the top end of your playbook.
Right. Yeah, so I just knocked him down and then stood up Decimate. Try and make it a little harder to take her out.
Yeah, so I walk in base to base just so that I don't have to worry about the counter pushing me out. I really should have also been base to base with Anvil, just because that 1-inch push, taking out a Sentinel, it's just kind of sloppy for me, where I could very much keep him protected. Yeah, I was also under the impression for some reason that the heroic worked like knockback, where it added extra dot or extra push.
Oh yeah, no, I just get to move into you.
Yeah.
Which allows her to surf, but it doesn't make her push any further or her counterattacks or anything any worse than normal.
Yeah, for whatever reason I thought it added an extra push, so I was worried about your double push becoming a triple push and getting him out.
Which would be sweet.
Which would be really sweet.
Here's where you need Tapper and that ludicrous triple push.
Yeah.
Which I don't think I've ever taken yet.
Yeah, I mean the situations where you would are pretty low. But this is that glorious sledge wrap for 12 damage, or 10 with tough hide, but since tooled up. Yeah, I don't actually realize he was tooled up until like the next attack, or after your counter. And then look down and go, oh wait, 2 more damage.
Yeah, and here I'm just hoping for something, get you out of Sentinel.
Which you do. You just kind of make him vulnerable for next turn.
make him vulnerable, put a little bit of damage on him. Yeah, make him vulnerable for next turn, and
Yeah, 'cause it's a 2 damage push that you take on him.
yeah, the double push doesn't do anything. So, and that's also able to dodge me out of Alloy's threat as well.
Or Anvil's.
Or Anvil, yeah.
Yeah, you remove the gang up. It's a nifty move. But she's sitting on 4 health. Yeah, I kept thinking she was a 4-1 and Spigot was a 3-1.
Yeah, Vet Spigot's a 4-1. Wonder if Vet Spigot's the only Spigot's the only model who changes his defenses every new model he gets. He goes from a 3-1 to a 4-1 to a 3-2.
He's slowed down by that extra armor. He speeds up when he stops drinking and slows down when he finds religion.
Yeah, that was the easy decimate takeout. I think it was around now where I just started to complain about how ludicrous the 8 damage is and how tough hide doesn't mean anything when you're doing 7 versus 8. And
Oh yeah, no, it really doesn't.
like the 4-1 to 4-2 defenses on apprentices and similar health to anybody else who's a 4-1 is just doesn't make them that squishy. And just I wasn't having a fun game at this point.
Apprentices are definitely not as squishy as advertised. Like they do have bad counterattacks. Pretty much all of their double repositions are on 4 with mostly attack 5. But I mean their health pools, their defensive stats, their access to extra armor really doesn't make them that much more vulnerable than most other squaddies.
Nope.
Unless you're playing against butchers or other blacksmiths. But.
And even when you think about it, regular Cinder's got a double push or double dodge on 2. Iron's got a double push on 1. Like
I didn't know Cinder
Alloy's
had
got a double dodge on 2, so they're not all that. Bolt's got a push dodge on 2, so they got okay counters.
Yeah. Yeah, it's really just Sledge and Vet Cinder whose counters aren't very good. They're the 2 that usually end up making counterattacks for me.
Yeah. And here I think you're just making sure that that Stave can't go in and throw a barrel and mess up positioning and everything.
Yeah, giving Alloy the ball, setting him up for a goal run, and making sure that he doesn't get knocked down. Because at that point, that's what I'm worried about more than the positioning. He's fast enough to get wherever he needs to be. Just if you knock him down, the ball scatters, and he doesn't really have enough influence to go get it back if it goes onto one of your people, or go all the way back if it goes behind me. Yeah, Stave with 1 influence. I mean, he does threaten a really long way with the barrel.
He does. With the heroic, it makes it a little bit easier to get it off. I just don't... I don't know. I don't know. Being a 2-1, he's got a ton of health, sure, but he's still a 2-1, and he's slow.
Yeah, no, I still don't think he makes the list. Oh yeah, you're blocking off my approach here, just making sure there's not a base width between there.
Yeah, and this was another one where I'm like, I kind of know that he can get in there anyways, just making it more difficult, making him spend the resources so that, if something did go wrong, that he's...
Yeah, just anything to make it less efficient.
Yeah.
Definitely helps. Being able to take that +1 kick certainly helps. Yeah, so he sprints over. He's got 3 influence on him. After I sprint, I'm like, wait a minute, I could have acrobatics and then charged. Oh wait, the reason I didn't do that, then I couldn't kick. Got it. Yeah, so he moves up and takes a swing on Quaff, hoping to get just one hit to get the point of damage for the Back to the Shadows, so he can take that free dodge at the end, or get really lucky and be able to put Dirty Knives out on someone. But
Love's Creature doesn't do anything in this instance because I don't have any influence left. So
yes, now's my chance.
Yeah, I don't know if I've had any opponent even attack Quaff besides you in season 4. Like I try to get in people's faces, but they just walk away from him, and
Yeah, you just take the
he does
parting
1 or
blow.
maybe 2 damage.
Yeah. I like the idea that if Quaffers himself and then charges, he could push someone theoretically like 8 or 9 inches. It's not really going to happen, but it's...
Yeah, with a couple crowd outs, he can push somebody pretty far.
Yeah.
Which could be cool, but throwing the influence on him, unless you have nothing else, it just seems inefficient. And unless that's the path to go. But then,
Plus, that crazy push, it's a lot of Magic Christmas Land. It's like that theoretical Strongbox can do something like 45 damage in 1 attack. If every single defense buff is applied, if all the models are crowding out, if he charges, if he's got Rage Legendary, it's one of those things that's more fun just as like an academic exercise almost, just figuring out how much it could be than is realistically going to happen.
yeah, exactly. And Decimate can do it more efficiently.
Yeah. She can't wrap as much, though. Quaff can wrap like 3 times.
Yeah. Get the same momentum. Here I'm just trying to put it out to Spigot. Set up for a pretty easy goal run next turn if it comes to that.
Yeah, if he gets the ball, I don't really have anyone in position to stop him, but with the score as it is, I'm on 8 points right now, so I guess I don't really mind if you score. That just gives me the ball back.
Yeah, it's 8-2, and the ball scatter doesn't help much.
Yeah, Stave doesn't even make an attempt to put the ball back in play. Stave, come on, man.
No, he doesn't, and I think I only had one influence. I don't even know if I try to...
I think you do throw a barrel at me.
Yeah, I think I threw a barrel just because.
Yeah, no, I mean, leaving the ball there's definitely the right move.
Just attempting to push you a little bit closer to Hooper and...
Give me a snapshot range.
Yeah, get you out of snapshot range, which is something I also don't think about often. I had Anvil snapshot against me.
Really?
Last week, yeah.
Oh. I don't think I've ever scored a goal with Anvil.
He scored a goal and then snapshotted it in. So
he's got a 3-die kick.
Yeah.
I had my client score a bear goal against me in the last tournament we had. He was beating me so thoroughly that it got to the point where it was just I mean, it was funny. It was totally worth it just for seeing the bear score a goal.
Yeah.
So we're on the turn break, choosing game plans. And I'm leading you on momentum here, I believe. Yeah, I play go for the knees. So
I won't touch the hair. Just
yeah.
hoping for the extra. I think that one gives you the extra.
Won't touch there is poised.
Yeah. So
Yeah,
that
and
gives
the
you the
extra
extra influence.
Yeah, I put +1 tack on Sledge. You put poised on Hooper. And I've got first activation, so I bring in Cinder over here. I had the theory that if my dice... I mean, if they worked decently average, I could just kill him in 2 attacks and still be able to do something else useful. And then, as I so often did in this game, I remembered that he's defense 4, not defense 3, and that there was no way that was going to happen.
Yeah, this was another spot where I didn't even realize that, didn't think that Hooper'd be, or Spigot'd be that vulnerable for a player coming back on. Kind of forgot about that.
Yeah, just staying over there on the wings, not having healed.
Yeah, that's when I realized that I had the momentum to heal him, and I probably should have. And
yeah, if you just accept that you're going to lose initiative. Yeah, I think I only give Alloy kind of his requisite 2 so that you deal with him, because he's pretty much in prime position to just die.
Yep.
Decimate comes back on getting the ball. Yeah, my hope originally when I thought that Spigot was defense 3 was that I'd be able to kill him in 2 hits, dodge with Grim Vengeance, and then still have 2 influence left over to charge Decimate, which would have been super cool, but against a defense 4, that's pretty much impossible. Because the 3, it would have been feasible for her to hit the Impale on the first attack, and then against the 3-0, if I bonus time, be able to hit the Mantis 4 damage and kill him, but not
Yeah, he's
not
only
likely.
coming on with 7, so...
I moved there to check if the phone's still recording. This was recorded on the same night as episode 1, actually, which was when I was first starting to mess around with this. So I was a little nervous about my phone just stopping.
Yeah, no, the picture quality is pretty good. It's
Amazing what a Samsung Galaxy S7 Edge can do. Samsung, give me money. I plugged your product. Yes, she's really just plinking for 1 damage at this point, but I've got the Searing Strike on, so should be hitting that 3rd column for the rest of these.
yeah, and that puts him down to a 3-0 with 6 hit points left. So
4-0. See, you're doing it too.
Oh, 4-0, yeah.
You're doing it too. Yeah, I was debating the Impale versus the 2 damage. I was still feeling optimistic that I might be able to save the Impale for someone else, but no. I'm an optimist. And the last attack, bonus time, just to make sure I hit that 3rd column.
Yep, which you just barely do.
Almost didn't, yeah. Yeah, so that brings me up to 10, and I've got Sledge sitting up there with +1 tack, with Furnace with enough influence to tool him up, and Furnace might even have 2 to be able to hit someone else and take away their armor. Anvil's there to be able to set him up, and I'm feeling pretty good about my chances of getting that last kill.
Yeah, and this is where I'm thinking I need to, can I take him out, can I take Sledge out before he goes and gets all his buffs and goes into probably Hooper.
Probably Hooper, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, because you decide to go in with Hooper.
Yeah, that's where I'm looking at what he could do and not what he actually has a chance to do.
Yeah, because you run it on Esther's real quick, and it becomes a little dicey. She's still, I think, at a much better chance of doing it
Yeah.
than Hooper did. Yeah, here counting out the influence on it and just seeing.
Yeah, this is when her. This is when she is less reliable. You know, it's a 4-1. On average, you should get those. You should get 2 hits. Pretty much 2 hits a turn, but.
Yeah. Yeah, because I think at that point you don't kill him unless you hit that knockdown on the first one.
Yeah.
Because I don't think he had really taken any damage up to this point.
He took
a couple from Decimate.
Yeah. And this is also not realizing, not knowing Blacksmiths well enough, that I probably could have gone with Quaff and brought Quaff in, threw the buff on Hooper, crowded out Sledge, and he would have been, with that crowd out, Esther's is much more reliable to get it done.
Yeah, because Sledge isn't threatening a full health Hooper without any of the setup at that point. So yeah, you probably would have been safe there.
Yeah.
And I would have been just as likely probably to just get Alloy to safety.
Yeah, which I would have been okay with. I was really more worried about surviving at this point.
Yeah. I think it would have been the wrong move for me to get Alloy to safety at that point, not just start putting on the buffs, but thinking about that's probably what I would have done. Just had him start running after the ball just in case.
Yeah, and if you did that, I potentially could have had Stave come in, looking at it now, and throw a barrel and knock Hearth and Anvil around.
Yeah, because Hooper effectively whiffs. So
Yeah.
we look at the board state here. He puts a couple damage out, and the store was pretty close to closing. So
Yeah, he was throwing 7 dice on a 4/1, and I think I did a couple damage each time, and it was.
So we just decided to call it.
Yeah.
Just save a little bit of time. Yeah, so I mean, we touched on a lot, but broad strokes, what do you think you would have done differently?
Well, I think it was the game after this, I sort of learned about having Decimate go in with the speed buff and
For kicking off.
for kicking off. She kicks off. You've got Spigot there to put the speed buff. I've been using him a lot more recently because turning all the Brewers into 7/9s is huge. And I didn't do it enough in season 3, and I've been doing it a bunch more recent games in season 4, and it's huge.
Yeah, I mean, season 3, you were just doing all of the other awesome stuff Spigot did, just tooling people up and beating their ass.
Yeah, but yeah, like having if going back to that first turn, granted you missed the kick, which would have changed things a lot, but sending Vet Cinder back a bunch more. Decimate probably would have been, with second wind, would have been out of range of Sledge coming in. That would have changed the whole complexion of the game.
Oh, yeah, of course. Choosing to receive might have been a good move there. Just, yeah, I get the goal with Alloy, but then you have Alloy to be able to just kind of put in prison and go first, take him out top of next turn, and then sure, it's 2-4, but you still have the ball, you still have control of a lot of the tempo of the game at that point.
Yeah, I struggle a little bit with what Brewers want to do if they receive, because I think their kick game, at least the way I've played them, is a little bit better, I think. If they kick, Decimate's up there. If anybody comes close, she can start moving people back, and it's a pretty reliable for momentum, and then if you get them close enough for Hooper's now 11-inch threat to go in and put some damage on them, knock them down, and so the Esther's Hooper Decimate is it's a nice little, with Spigot, it's a nice bubble, but it also takes almost all of your influence.
Yeah, but of course, you're king. What else are you going to do with that influence? So why not?
Right, exactly.
Yeah.
What about you?
I feel like I played that one pretty well.
Yeah, I think so too.
I don't know. Making that kick turn one would have been nice.
Yeah, that would have potentially changed the complexion of everything too.
Yeah, I mean, I think going for that Alloy goal that I went for, while nice, wasn't strictly necessary. There's a lot of conservative players out there that would have just sat on the ball and continued to grind out takeouts and not give up possession of the ball, but that's never been my playstyle. I mean, I'm usually the guy that tries to go 3-0. With my Blacksmiths, I've been doing a lot more 1-4 and a couple of 0-6s, which has been making my soul hurt a little bit.
Yeah, but I mean that goal puts you up, gets you an extra influence, and puts you up 8-2.
Yeah,
and you're still in command. Because if I scored the snapback goal the next turn, then you're in control to score another goal, and that puts me at 6 points, which is not enough to do anything. So
yeah, it's still. Yeah, it takes the ball out of play effectively, rather than keeping it as a resource I can use to dodge around and gain momentum if I need it. But yeah, I think that's about it. Unless you've got anything else.
Not right now.
All right. Well, thanks, Jesse.
Cool. Thank you.
Appreciate it. While we're here, there's a couple of events to plug. On the last Saturday of January, the 26th, at GameOn in Rhode Island, if you're in New England, Christopher Ames is hosting a tournament. He puts on a good event. Early February, we've got CaptainCon, which hopefully you're going to. I help run the Brewers Cup, where a lot of fun is had, and Guild Ball is kind of played. Then,
I'll be there, and I know at least a few other people from the shop will be there too.
yeah, a lot of our locals. It's basically in our backyard. We're based in Connecticut. March 23rd, we've got Grim Vengeance in Long Island. 60-player team tournament, 20 teams. It's going to be awesome. The Long Island guys put on a good event, and I hope to see you guys there. Get together a team. The Longshanks page is up, and it has event registration info, so hope to see you there. So once again, thanks for coming, Jesse,
Thank you.
and I'll see all of you on the